We mentioned we will be giving you a lay of the land as Malawians head to the polls. You heard it's countdown to election day. Campaigns closed this past weekend, bringing an end to weeks of intense rallies, promises, and appeals to voters. Now Malawians are preparing for what is being described as a very critical vote for the country's democratic journey. The elections come at a time when Malawi is grappling with economic hardship, high youth unemployment, and concerns over corruption. Analysts say the outcome should shape the country's political and economic direction for years to come. Election observers, on the other hand, both local and international, are on the ground to monitor proceedings and ensure transparency. Meanwhile, the Malawi Electoral Commission says it is ready to deliver a free, fair, and credible election. We speak now to our colleague Michael Mbewe, who is in Malawi. He's been monitoring preparations for the election since Saturday. Michael, a very good evening to you. So I believe that you spent the day crisscrossing the country to just get a sense of state of preparedness.
Good evening, my sister Tpiso, and to our Channel Africa listeners across the continent, but also beyond. Yes, indeed, a deciding moment has come for Malawi. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock, the polls will open for them really to make a decision on the future of Malawi in the next coming 5 years, Tpiso. But yes, in your introduction, you have mentioned the fact that yes, you have we have traversed within some of the cities which are sort of main voting points of these elections. So we arrived on Saturday in Lilongwe at Via Kamuzu International Airport. So one could, sense, Tpiso, are you with me?
Yes.
I think the net is break.
No, we still
Thank
hear
you so much, my sister.
Michael. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so upon arriving, my first observation was, what is the mood? What are the people talking about when you greet them? Is the sense of elections in their heads, or what is it that they're thinking? And only to find that Tpiso, it's been reported that during some campaigning times before previously, there were some violence, violence reported here in Lilongwe, where one of the human rights activists was, hacked with a panga in the head. He's a very well-known activist by the name of Sylvester Namiwa. That sparked fear, because they were actually doing a demonstration against, the government. So you had those vigilante people who chased these people away, and then, wielding pangas, putting fear in the communities within Malawi ahead of these elections. But according to reports suggest that no incident took place within the time of campaign until it was closed on Sunday at 6 p.m. when this is according to the Malawi Electoral Commission chairperson Annabel Ntalimanja, who announced on Saturday that the campaigns by 6 p.m. On Sunday, 6 a.m. on Sunday, should be closed. So they on the ground, things are like you don't even feel like they are elections. The fever is not there, the euphoria is there. It tells you the despair that people are having. But other than that, the enthusiasm is there. They are ready, really, to wake up in the morning tomorrow and queue at 6 o'clock and cast their votes.
So, Michael, before we get to the logistics of the voting centers, etc., I wonder if you've had a chance to meet any of the electoral observers there, because you mentioned some of the violent incidents and the Malawi Electoral Commission's statement on it. But prior to this incident of, as you mentioned, a well-known human rights activists,
yes,
there have also been reports of people who have seen to be anti-government protesting about the run-up to the elections, the transparency thereof, being attacked by youth militia who've been allegedly linked to the governing party. Is there a sense of fear? Is there a tense environment around fears of similar attacks occurring?
Well, that hasn't been noticed upon my own observation at Tepiso, because this is why, when arriving in Lilongwe, because I thought we couldn't only concentrate on Lilongwe, because Lilongwe is more inclined to the ruling, Malawi Congress Party. This is their territory where really they command. So the last rallies happened on Saturday. Unfortunately, because of our flight arrived in the afternoon, we wanted to go at that rally and really, paint a picture of what the people are saying, also the supporters. What is it that they like for, coming out of Chakwera? But coming back to your question, that the thing about violence, I don't think that would occur. The chances are very minimal. I traveled today from Lilongwe to Blantyre, which is a 4-hour drive to go, and then 4-hour drive to come, which gives you 8 hours. Just also to see the sense of readiness, and then also what is happening on the ground. The same thing I saw, very calm. Everybody is just going on about their own business, but despair, on the ground. Even when you speak to the youth, they're saying, no, we are tired of this government that promised a lot of things to them. We remember when they were coming into government, there was an alliance that was formed between the Malawi Congress Party and the Tonse. The alliance was called Tonse Alliance, where one of the leaders that passed away, if you recall, by the name of, was a deputy president, Dr. Saulos Chilima. They are crying that robbed them the future of Malawi, because he had a stealth. He showed that if he can take the government, and then with the ideas that he had, at least people will see change. Everybody says Malawi is not poor. Malawi has mineral resources to be, so just like any other African country, but mismanagement of these resources is what is putting Africa where it is today. Look at the DRC has everything. We in South Africa, we also have everything. I mean, abundance of wealth as Zimbabwe, but leadership is the issue in Africa, is the big elephant in the room that needs to be addressed by all the leaders, be it in the SADC region, to be so. So looking forward to that. We didn't see any intimidating, incidences, even people pushing either, shoving each other on the street or fighting, hey, ANC this, ANC that, even on social media. We didn't see any incidences of, or posts that are provocative to the other side. So the main day that we will really, put the tick on the box is tomorrow. We'll traverse to different polls to see what is happening on the ground at Tepiso.
All right, so let's talk about the voting centers, accessibility to it, and infrastructure to allow for a free and fair election. What has the Malawi Electoral Commission said? Has it given a report? Because often at this time, a day before the elections, there are these almost half-day or hourly reports that come out where problems are reported, if any at all.
Yes, at the moment, luckily our colleague Nixon Katana is inside, also getting some, voices that are coming out of there. There is a briefing that is ongoing currently. But I'll go back to yesterday. She made another briefing. I'm talking about the chairperson of the Malawi Electoral Commission, Justice Ntalemanja, saying that all systems are everything's ready. The ballot paper, ballot papers have already, placed in all stations, polling stations. That media briefing involved also all mission observers from COMESA, SADC, and also independent. They're here. You also have the Dean of Ambassador from Zimbabwe, in South Africa, in Malawi, and some other ambassadors as well who are here. In terms of security as well, she announced that security measures are a top priority. They have those hotspots that they think maybe might inflame some unforeseen circumstances. So security is there deployed to ensure that everything runs smooth. But also they will prioritize, the elderly, the disabled, so that they make it more inclusive. And then also, they lobbied the youth to come in numbers to really make that change. But they also, however, warned that whoever is going to attempt, to try and disrupt the proceedings of these general elections, as you mentioned in the intro, that this is one of the most contentious, elections Malawi has ever seen. So warning them that they will face the might of the law. They won't play with anybody who's going to be, encroaching to start something that is out of hand. But also, like you said, the current chairperson has been flagged by different various human rights observers and human rights groups. For example, the Human Rights Watch. They are saying they are alleging that she is aligned with the ruling MCP. She also has a relative within the government. So begs, question to say whether they will run these elections credible or not under her leadership. But also, Tepiso, there is another issue that came. There was a court case actually where some parties took the Malawi Electoral Commission to court because of what they have introduced. The smart mark, which is something that has to do with electronic voting and smartmatic technology intended to modernize the electoral process, which has generated a debate around technical readiness and public confidence. Because why? It was introduced late, ahead of these elections. So, concerns about training. Will the personnel be able to operate these machines efficiently to the level that is required, to the standard that is required to run elections?
Michael, let's just round up with the issue of economic hardship, which you mentioned at the onset, and you said that you've been speaking to citizens in Malawi about what is obviously driving them to vote at the polls. So let's look at that. Fuel shortages. We had, I think, about 23 of the 28 districts in Malawi being declared disaster areas because of drought. That was last year. So the fact that you mentioned that it does have the mineral resources, but people are impoverished. What are some of the sentiments that are being expressed by those heading to the polls, and why they are voting for who they want to vote for?
One thing that has really crippled Malawi, Tsepiso, is the issue of fuel shortages. There's acute fuel shortage. You are lucky if you are driving diesel car. Diesel most of the time is readily available. But your ordinary cars, to get petrol, you have to queue for hours. And the supply is not, adequate to give everybody enough fuel, and it's a backbone of every economy. Transportation, goods, supply of goods from, point A to point B, you need fuel to take goods to anywhere. So that's the number one elephant in the room. And this now is causing too much inflation. You go today in the shop, bread is 20 rand. I'm just giving an example. Here is kwacha. You go tomorrow, it's 30 kwacha. And then next Friday is 40 kwacha. So those are the things that the people are really, crying about. But also unemployment. Just like in South Africa, the youth here, they don't know what to do. They don't have even starters for that matter to be on the road and start something. But also, they can't be selling because who's going to buy if people are not working? So those are the issues that are on the ground to say, no, the economy needs to improve. Industries have to come. But also the issue of, like you said, mineral resources, that they are not regulated, just like in South Africa, where you have this, organization or agency that deals with an entity within the government that deals with how minerals are deposited and so on, or extracted from the ground. So it's really a mixed feeling amongst the electorates here. But besides that, beside the desperation that they have, they are saying tomorrow they can't wait. They were like 5 o'clock, I'll be on the queue. I want to make change. I spoke to the youth yesterday in Blantyre. 3, 4 of them who run business within. They couldn't even. They say that they couldn't finish school because of lack of funds. So they resorted to do businesses so at least they can feed themselves and their families. So another bleak picture is what somebody said to me, that people are so stressed to a point that some are committing suicides. Families are breaking because the family man can't provide for the family. Yeah, so
Michael?
it's very, very concerning.
And that's a very somber note to end it up. But thank you so much, Michael Mbewe, my colleague, along with Nixon Katemba, who are in Malawi as the electorate there ready themselves to cast their ballots from 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. And of course, we'll keep an eye on developments as and when they happen. Do listen, watch out for Channel Africa for those updates.
1 hour, one continent, one voice. Africa World Hour with Tsepiso Makwetla on Channel Africa, the African perspective.